Okay, so today I am going to show you something that I never thought that I would do to my water. Now this video is called Faraday Cage, but not for you or for people, but it's actually for water. Yes, this is going to be the first video in the world that you are going to see that there are actually going to be Faraday cage for our water. And if you watch this video and your eye is gonna pop out, yes, you better pop those eyes out, because we are heading there, and we are heading to the nano world. So this is what we have to do. It's very simple, but this is what we have to do. Now, before I go into the video, I'm going to show you a little bit of evidence. If you noticed, look at this jar. Very close. See how little these bubbles are. Okay? Now look at this jar. And so see how those big bubbles are. Why is that? How come there's two jars that's sitting right here, right? But one is little and one is big. It used to be like that, but now it's actually smaller. It's because this jar has been sitting around for 2 days now. By the third days, you won't see this anymore. Or at least that's what for my area is. You're going to have to watch out for yours. I actually talked about it in my last video. I'll link it right up here too. And also too, I explained about Faraday cage. I actually have that video, and I've done it like probably, I think, 3 years now. I'll link it right up here, right here for you too, so you can see that video about Faraday cage. But yes, that's what we have to do to our water now. Now this is distilled water, so I have to take extra steps. When I buy regular water, like for instance Poland Spring or or our local water, what I do is you cannot fill this whole thing. Okay, that's the rule. And I'll explain just a little bit. The reason why that if you put a fish in here, the reason why the fish cannot grow bigger is because of compression. Well, I will be the first one in the world to understand this as well. Radiation does the same thing. Radiation cannot be compressed. It doesn't like it either, especially when everything around it is compressed. Meaning, it's a low form of radiation decay. When it's a low form of radiation decay, because that's what we are dealing with, it is not the good radiation. The good radiation is when we're making it. Okay? But when we're dealing with the radiation now, it's actually I call it the decay, which a lot of scientists call it the same way, decay. I'll explain that in another video. But let's say we are dealing with decay radiation. And it doesn't like to be squeezed either, just like a fish in the tank. You heard this before. If you put a fish in a tank, the fish grows according to the size of the tank. It's because it's being squeezed and it's being compressed. Funny thing is that I find radiation does the same thing. It does the same thing as the fish in the water. So you noticed I put them in only on third of it. I fill it only up to here. I leave a little space. That way it can escape. This type of radiation does not have a way to escape. Like, it will escape. The good radiation, it will leave right away. That's what those big bubbles are. That's the bigger. Why is it bigger? Bigger bubble, bigger radiation. Smaller bubble, smaller radiation. Okay? As simple as that. Just remember that. And that's why I show you 2 samples. There is no way that I'd be able to make these. See how small this is. Okay? And there's no way I were able to make those. Look how big those are. Okay? You can see it right there. All over. There is no way. No human can do this. I'm sorry to tell you, but no human can do this. But radiation can. I'll show you one more time. So in case you have questions. Look how small those are. And up close. You see them. They used to be big. Look up here. Now, they are very small. But compared to the one I just did, I don't know, maybe a few hours ago. Look at them. Like about 6 hours ago. Okay? We use that to learn a very simple concept. How radiation behave, and how big the radiation, how small the radiation. Okay? So that's how we understand. Because it's getting smaller, look at right over here, it's even more minute. Even really tiny ones. There's no way you'll be able to do to that jar. You would have to remove that water low a little bit, and then eventually smaller will come out. Believe it or not. And that's how I was taught. I observed this long ago. Remember my old video that I put up here? I call it my water journey. I've learned a lot about this. Okay? So now, after 2 days, this is going to be leaving out for 2 days. After 2 days. Then what I do to it? I put them in here. Why? This is just a simple box. Okay? I'm going to let you look into it. With 2 water bottles. And there's water in them. Okay? And these are the nozzle. That's where I got my water from. Okay? Now, all you have to do is get the box. I bought these specifically because it has its own box. You see that down there? It has the foam too to protect it. So it stores inside this box. That's about 1 gallon each. And that's why I bought those. So there's 2 gallons in here. What happened is, when it's in here, things cannot attach to it because we made a Faraday cage. And yes, like I said before, I never knew that one day that I would have to make a protection for my water as well. Because once radiation leaves from this bottle, there will be more continuing bombarding it. So we don't want that to stay in here no more. We want it to dump it in here. And then we drink from that because anything bombarded, it can't pass through. Okay? Now, have you noticed I use everything glass? Remember, when you're dealing with water, you needed to leave it in glass. Don't drink it in plastic bottles. Don't put it in plastic bottles because plastic bottle will leach. And yes, I have discovered something from that as well. Although a lot of people don't like it, but I'm telling you, I discovered something from plastic. That's another separate video. Also, too, I drink out of porcelain. Now, start drinking out of glass and porcelain, and you will see what happened to your body. That's number 1. I actually made that video a while back. I probably link it to here, too. I forgot what I said in that video, but I tell people, stay away from metal and stay away from plastic. Use glass or porcelain, and you will see what happened to your body. Your body will be a lot healthier. And something else too, but that's another video. I'll show you what I discovered. Oh boy, it's gonna turn the medical community upside down with that one. I promised. Now, let's get back to my Faraday cage. My Faraday cage for water. So basically, all I did was I took aluminum tape. Okay? I will show it to you. And this is aluminum tape. It belongs into the HVAC department in your local big box store. Okay? I call it the big box store because I don't want to advertise anybody. It's in the heating and cooling section. That's what aluminum. This is aluminum tape. All you have to do is tape the whole box with it and put your water in, and then just make a 2 little spot here so you can get your water out. That's it. As simple as that. And do you have to make it all around? Yes. You make the whole thing. Nothing. Even the bottom too. Okay? Please remember that. You have to protect the bottom. You have to protect 360 degrees so nothing can bombarding. Radiation cannot pass through here. Radiation will bounce off. Gamma ray will, but radiation won't. Okay? Gamma ray can pass through a lot of stuff. Even there's 6 inches of lead. Eventually it will pass through. So you cannot protect gamma rays. Now, you see the top, I did it that too. I cover that too. Okay? And when you come over and take something out of here and make sure this is plastic, do not touch the metal because then you absorb the EMF or electromagnetic field or decay EMF. You're going to hear a lot about this from me. I talk about EMF and I talk about the decay EMF. I will make that video later to explain the concept of how I understand radiation or photons, that's what it is. Even lights, even when they fuse together, okay? And then when they go into the death zone, there's a line in the middle here, just like everything else. And then there's a death zone, which is over here. I'll explain all that for you to understand later. Okay? Another video. But for this video here, I just want to make it, keep it short, simple, and sweet. Is that when you have your water now, from now on, you want to protect this. And I have that water journey. If you have not seen that yet, follow that journey so you can know this is another step to that. Okay? Any type of water, even city water, do this. All you have to do is take your city water, put it 1/3 of the big jar, and it's glass. See that? Let the radiation escape. When the radiation escape, you put it in here, in your Faraday cage. Your water Faraday cage. Water Faraday cage, the first in the world to protect it. And then once you do that, you can drink safely from that. And that way, this is less radiation entering your body. Right now, you have a lot of radiation bombarding everywhere, especially when we are entering the 5G world. We have Bluetooth, we have cell towers, we have phones, we have everything, cars, alarm system, blah, 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 blah. It's all over the place. We are being bombarded. And in order to protect your water, this is what you have to do. You really have to protect your water, or else you are drinking radiation water. Nano radiation water. So, when you get your water, make sure to protect it. And here it is. One more time. When you get your water, fill it into a jar. Leave it 3/4 open. Because remember, we have to do according to sort of like a fish in its tank. Remember that, okay? That's our references. So pretend that's what it is in here. We need to leave it some room. from that, the radiation will leave because it has room. Okay? And that's why, like I said, you cannot produce this. No human can produce this except for radiation. And look how small these are. And look how big those are. One more time. That to prove it to you. I don't have to go further than that to prove it to you. There's no way a human can do that. Only radiation can. Okay? There is no way. Look how small these are. Let me pen this down a little bit. One more time before I go. Look how small those are. And look how even smaller than that. There is no way I am able to do that. No human can do that. But radiation can. That's to prove it to you. What we are dealing with. And like I said, and I said it again. I never knew that one day I would have to do this to my water as well. Okay? But we are heading there. We are heading to that period. And we would have to protect our water as well. And what are we doing this for? Before I go, what are we doing this for? One is to protect our body. Two is protect your thyroid gland. Remember, and remember me, your thyroid gland is very important because that's the first thing it goes down. When the water enters, it absorbs, the radiation will absorb through your thyroid gland. And that's why when people who exposed to a lot of radiation in early life, they will have hypothyroidism later in life. Or when you eat a lot of salt. One more thing. I will teach you one more thing. Why do they say salt? Okay? Salt. And I said again, salt. Why they say salt is dangerous for your body? It's because it blocks radiation. It holds it. And because of a lot of salt in your body, it actually holds the radiation in your body. And that's why they put iodine in salt. Get it now? Now you understand? It's because it holds on. Iodine actually helps it to release it. You hear it. You heard it here first. You hear it from me. And you heard it here first. That's what is going on to your body. So, all we're doing is just helping our thyroid from staying healthier. And if once your thyroid gland gets healthier and healthier, I call it one, but they call it two glands. I call it one because I think it's only one. But anyway, that's my opinion. Your thyroid gland function helps a lot of stuff which a lot of people don't know, or even scientists and doctors around the world do not know. It is it plays a very important role in your body. It regulates a lot of things. And if you hear this video, you will soon learn to understand it. As long as you protect your thyroid gland or glands, you will go on a healthier road. And once you do that, your life will change. Trust me. Because I can tell you ahead of time. That's why a lot of people have hypothyroidism. Because of these reasons. Because one, like I say, salt. Salt actually keeps the radiation in. Sort of like my battery. Oh boy, I got to link a lot of stuff into my video. I call it the battery. And I made a little battery video. I talk about how acid holds salt. Well, acid holds energy or holds electron. Well, salt does the same thing in your body, and that's why it's not good to have a lot of salt in your body. Certain amount, but not a lot. And that's why they said people always stay away from salt, stay away from salt. Well, there you go. Now I explain it further for you to understand. But, all you're doing this is to protect your thyroid gland. Okay? Or glands, like they call it. So you're doing it, you're just protecting your thyroid glands. And once your thyroid glands is being protected and it's going to the healthy road, and it's doing good and everything, you're going to see your body changes. You're going to see your health changes. And they're going to take a long time, believe it or not, because it takes a long time for the thyroid gland to go into hypothyroidism. But this is also linked to hypothyroidism too, okay? Please remember that. Other than that, that's about it on this video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something from it. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.